Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Wadash. Double honor as to the elders, apostles, and bishops at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and safety to the hopeful elect Akim out there doing this work. Much love to the scattered elect and to the few sincere women that subscribe to the true doctrine. This is the brother you call the Moth with the Great Millstone Camp, the branch out here in Omaha, Nebraska. Coming back with another lesson, Lord willing, to feed and to edify the lost sheep of the nation of Israel through the Holy Spirit, Rachah Kodash. And the Israelites consist of the so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans by the seed of your father, no matter what you may look like. And I was just doing some meditating and thinking, and the Spirit hit me to come up with the lesson topic that the Lord will put us through things so we can receive a perspective, and I'll get this word perspective, but the reason what influence this is, how the Most High he'll place certain situations in front of you, he'll even bring certain people into your life, and on a superficial level, we may look at these things and be like, okay, well, this is just a situation I'm going through, but Yahweh Shai Shai always has a motive to the things that he does, and the motive ultimately is to let us see things from a different point of view, in a sense, or to experience certain things. Right? I'll lean more on that latter statement, is to experience certain things. And this should give us a newfound respect for, I'll say, at least for me. I won't project. I'll say what this that hit my spirit is that the Lord, he will do that so you can see what maybe older brothers are going through, or what certain other sincere and faithful men are going through that maybe you have not experienced, just so you can understand and just even at least at the slightest a brother's plight, and be able to empathize and be able to connect to it. Okay, I want to get this word perspective. All right, so this is perspective in the etymology online, and I do pray that this is edifying, Lord willing, the point gets across. This is the word perspective from the late 14th century. It says the science of optics, from Old French perspective, and directly from medieval Latin perspectiva, ars, science of optics, which is science. Science goes back to knowledge, to know something, and that's something that Yahweh Shai puts us through. Matter of fact, let's get a precept that just came to mind. So Salakia, my audio had cut out with the precept that I want to get into is right here in the book of Romans, the 5th chapter and the 3rd verse. It says, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience is one of the key words that I wanted to get into, okay? Because with patience, it ultimately goes into a state of misfortune. We'll get into it. There's more to it, the word patience, than just that. But some specifically that the elder brothers have spoke on. And not just the elder brothers, there are brothers all over the place, different brothers in different states, elders and apostles, bishops, that have, from time to time will speak on patience and experience, and what it, what comes with it. So we're going to get into this word, tribulation, real quick in the blue letter, right, which it says, excuse me, this is Strong's G 2347, which is thlipsis. It says oppressing together, pressure, metaphor, oppression, affliction, tribulation, distress, straits. Okay, and through these things, this is how we learn how to deal in the Lord. This is how we learn to deal with brothers, and even how we're able to empathize with brothers that, especially older brothers that have been going through things and maybe we just didn't understand, as younger brothers. Maybe we just didn't understand fully. We hear it, we've read scriptures, on how this brother's plight and this brother's testimony is biblical, but to actually experience it, or to empathize with it, rather, is a whole nother level, and the Lord will possibly put you through the same things, okay, or something similar, so you can understand and empathize better. And it gives a new, profound respect for the scriptures. Not that you haven't respected the scriptures beforehand, but it increases your respect and your love for what's written within the text of the Holy Scriptures, man. So let's get there's another definition I want to get within here. Patience. When you get the word patience, is Strong's G5281, which is hypomony, which is steadfastness, constancy, endurance. Okay. In the New Testament, the characteristic of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose and his loyalty to faith and piety, by even the greatest trials and sufferings. That means what? The Most High, he put us through things, presents situations to us to really ultimately to test us. What does it say in the book of Sirach, the 2nd chapter? It says that acceptable men are tried in the furnace of adversity. So and we're right now, we're in the, Sirach 13 and verse 13, where it says that we walk in the peril of our overthrow because we're constantly faced with trials and tribulations and temptations, man. There's always going to be something set in front of us. And we have to deal with it accordingly, and not only deal with it accordingly, but recognize, why are we going through this? Why are we going through this? And you often hear brothers say that maybe the Lord is trying to tell me something. That's the mindset that we should have. Okay? Now, let's get back into the precept just a little bit more. I want to get on. It says in patience, Romans 5 and verse 4. It says in patience, experience. Okay, and that's something that's heavily spoken of throughout Israel. When you get into that word experience, is a proving or a trial, approved, tried character, a proof, a specimen of tried worth. He tried us as gold is tried in the fire, man. And the reason being to see, are we going to stand stiff? Are we going to still continue to worship the true names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai? Is our foundation going to be shaken through our tribulations? Are we going to deviate and turn to the left or to the right because of what we're going through and we don't know how to deal with it? This is where and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. This is where that spiritual inclination has to kick in and really has to deal with you so you can understand what's going on. All right. So now let's what I want to do. I want to go back to. There's a word that I wanted to get in the Etam online. Perspective. I think there's a little bit more to that. With the perspective, right? So as I said, as the definition said, the science of optics, which when you go into that word science, it means the knowledge, to have knowledge of something. Okay. As what the book of Timothy says, concerning Esau, Edom. It says the science falsely so-called, the false knowledge, concerning the different devices that Esau has set up, concerning like the MOTB, thinking that you could be above the Lord, thinking that you can be the Lord, okay, or even these false medications that they make up in these labs, and they give you all these so-called beneficial, beneficial conveniences of these medicines, but really it's just a bunch of chemicals and things that they put together, with some natural resources, and then they say, hey, this is like Tylenol. Okay, this is something that the elder brother put me on to, as he spoke on it. How Tylenol has a natural herb such as garlic in it, which is good to which helps with headaches. It helps to ease the strain and pain of headaches. So they put that in there, but they also take that to the lab and mix a bunch of artificial things with it. But let's move on, right? It says, which is that's just going into the science aspect. So it says optical, clearly perceived, inspect, which was what the scriptures tell us to do. Let's get it. Let's get the precept. And this is the book of 2 Corinthians 13, verse 5. It says, to examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves? Let's actually get a couple of these words real quick. Right, we're going to get the words examine and prove. Let's see what they say. You get to the word examine. Strong's G3985, which is Perazo, to try whether a thing can be done, to attempt, endeavor, to try, make trial of, to make trial of. Test, for the purpose of asserting his quality or what he thinks or how he will behave himself. So by the things that are placed in front of us, the different trials, the different tribulations, the different straits we have to experience, the chastisements, the different things that we have to prove our souls, okay, is going to be what proves us. It's going to be what does it say? How we will behave ourselves. And that's beautiful that it says that, because how we will behave ourselves is perfect, because there can become a situation, that be placed in front of us, and we may not behave ourselves accurately towards it. We may go into panic mode. You may do something rashly. You may forget, in a moment in a time, and we're in the flesh, so it can happen. It's very highly possible that it happens. When things are put in front of us, we may not go about it the right way. Okay, we're striving to be perfect, all right, but that and that doesn't make it okay to just go into panic mode, especially if we have the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. We've been getting into these scriptures. We know these scriptures. There should be no reason why we should be just dipping off to the left. And once again, I speak to myself first, because I'm in the flesh, and I ain't gonna sit and act like ain't none of this ever happened to me, ever in my life. Okay, I'm not gonna be a liar and a hypocrite in this sense. All right, Lord willing, at all, but especially in this sense here. All right. It says, and it's in a good and a bad sense. There's another word I want to get in here, which is the word prove. But when you get the word prove, it goes into Strong's G1381, which is dokimazo, which is to test examine, prove, scrutinize, to scrutinize, right? And we have to scrutinize every situation that comes in front of us. Every man has their tailor-made situations built directly for them. Because the Most High, He knows the hearts and the reins. He searches out the heart and the reins. He knows who you are. He knows who I am. He knows who all these brothers I'm around are. He knows who throughout the four corners. He knows who you is. Right? He created everything. It says that in the book of Sirach 18 and verse 1. He created all things in general. You don't think He know who you are? You know? So, you know, it's for us to scrutinize ourselves is a very important factor in us growing. That's the goal. According to the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, where it tells us to grow in the grace and the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. But it doesn't just come that easy. It comes with scrutiny, the scrutiny of self. It comes from trials and tribulation. It comes with situations that have been put in front of you to see how you're going to react. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai is a beloved, fair power, man. He's terrible, but at the same time, He's merciful. When you go into the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th, no, it's not 2nd Ezra, Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 16 in verse 11, where it says that as His mercy is great, so is His punishment also. So the Most High is balance. I mean, He's going to give us exactly what we need to get through or to not make it. At the end of the day, His elect is already sealed with Him. All right? Let's finish this precept, and I'll probably end it off here. This was just something that was on my spirit, and throughout Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, for Him providing precepts, because I didn't have any precepts written down, so it was the spirit of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai that provided, right? So let's finish this off. 2 Corinthians 13 and verse 5. The latter end, it says, "Know ye not yourselves, know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai Mashiach is in you, except you be reprobates." So once again, going back to that proving, there was a definition where it says in a good or a bad sense. So when it says, "Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai Mashiach is in you, except you be reprobates," that means He can work with you on the right-hand side or the left-hand side. Okay? He can put you in a position to grow and be better and to serve Him better. Or He can put you in a position to bug out. Which essentially, when you bug out, that will make you reprobate. Which a reprobate, real quick, is one who was not able to stand the test, or not one who wasn't approved. And with me, myself, I pray that I'm able to get through whatever it is that I'm going through, as well as you brothers and you few sincere sisters out there, whatever you may be going through. If you calling upon the true names of Yahweh, whom this world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and you continue to follow His word, you continue to study His word, you continue to deal with the chastisements, as it says that He chastises those whom He loves. If we're able to deal with the trials and the tribulations, then Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai is going to have our back if we remain faithful. Okay? But that's really the point that I want to get to, and like I said, with the title of this lesson, the Heavenly Father will put us through things for us to receive a perspective, so I pray that this was edifying. And with that being said, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakah, Hakodash. Double honor to my elders and apostles, the great millstone. Peace, love, and safety to the elect. Until the next time, I say shalom.